12-man squad will be representing the Rugby Sevens of Tilbert Onyango in the forthcoming competition in Africa, men's sevens competition, where the Rugby Sevens of Uganda will be competing among with 13 other countries. Lacks as a qualifier for the forthcoming Tokyo 2020 Olympics set for next year. And I tell you what, the big boys are back, including the two Wokorachis in Philip and Michael. I like the story the Sevens have had over the last couple of years. We talk about them featuring in last year's World Cup, I think California. We talk about them winning back-to-back Sevens title. I think that was 2016, 2017, I think so. But the brand behind Tilbert's success, or the story behind Tilbert's success, was built on names like the Wokorachis, names like the Keramundus, and I can't ignore the fact, but the Sevens have become more successful than the 15s, and you can only hope that they can qualify for the Olympics next year.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Obviously, you mentioned. I think for me, truth be told, we've grown in leaps and bounds in the sevens rugby. Probably we've not done the same in the 15s, and it comes back to the fact that the dynamics of the two versions of the sport are a bit different. And I've seen the squad. Interestingly, the one name that I think will be dearly missed is Solomon Okia.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that lengthy injury that he had that was him out of the tournament. But nonetheless, if you look at the team that actually did get to leave the country earlier today, it's a blend of both the young and the experienced as well. And some of these players have come through a project that has been running for a couple of years. You could speak of Pius Ogena, you could speak of Joseph Aredo, the team captain at the Cobs. You could speak of players like, Aaron Ofero, who's most recently come back from Kenya at the Harlequins and resigned on for the club side that happens to be the Hima Heathen. So for me, I think it's an interesting time to be part of rugby in Uganda. And the coach Tilbert Onyango is someone that understands the sport. He's been part of the growth process for most of these kids. And the hope is that we can actually put up a very good performance because our first game is going to be this particular Friday. We shall be playing against Mauritius. And after that, you'll be thinking that we can clinch that one spot. But countries like Kenya, countries like Namibia will be hoping to go for it. The beauty about it is that as much as we are playing in South Africa, the hosts are not playing because by virtue of the fact that they are one of the top-ranked sevens nations in the globe, they don't need to go through the qualifiers, so they qualify directly. But there's two things at stake. One is the African title for the sevens, which we've won before, and the other is a place at the Tokyo Olympics next year. And the hope is that the boys can go out there and give a good performance. So Lawrence Bukenya, Sebuli Barada, Mike Wokrach, the team captain, have all got to come together and put in a good performance.
Well, Brian talks about the few members that were listed. Of course, Ian Munyani in there included, Masa Isaac. We talk about Ogena Pius, Aaron Ofoy Worth, Adrian Casito, Joseph Aredo, Levis Ochen, Lawrence Sebeliba, along with James Odong, the two Wokorachis in Philip and Michael, and Kevin Kedamundo. This Friday, the Rugby Sevens team will be up against Mauritius. Away from that, let's now talk about what will be happening this Friday as well. That's the Africa, or the FIBA 3-on-3 Africa Cup, where Uganda will be hosting this event. Having, of course, failed out on a few occasions on World Cup events, this time around it is pressure on Hamza Nyambogo to deliver in regards to the forthcoming FIBA 3-on-3 Africa Cup. The latest is teams have arrived, Egypt and Niger to be precise. You want to think that it might just get tougher and more nervy as well for Team Uganda.
It's going to be quite the challenge. Earlier this week, I saw one of the players, that is Rita Imanishibwe, who should be representing for the women's side, coming out and saying that the two competitors she's looking at are Niger and obviously Mali in there as well. And you could throw in Egypt. But 3x3 is a place where we've been quite successful, because you could speak of us going to the FIBA Under 23 3x3 World Cup, which was such a massive success for us. And it's going to put a lot of responsibility on Uganda as a country, especially for FIBA who are hosting this, because we've got 12 different nations, including Uganda, and that includes our neighbors, Kenya, it includes Burundi, we've got countries like Madagascar, Mauritius in there as well, and we've got powerhouses like Egypt, Mali coming through. So for me, I think it's an opportunity for us to make the most of the fourth player, or the fourth man, who happens to be the fans. It's going to be played at the hockey grounds, and what they've done is that they've come up with a special floor that they'll be laying out on the hockey pitch, and that is what they'll be using to play the games. And I think for me, the fans should come out in big numbers and support, and hopefully FUBA and actually Mafiba as well can actually pull it off.
I do beg to be excused because we had a few reactions in regards to the Rugby Sevens who will be in South Africa in a few hours from now for the forthcoming Africa Men's Sevens tournament down in South Africa. What could be a route to Tokyo 2020.
Points on the kickoffs. If you're going to kick to Sebeliba, let's finish on support. Yeah, they've isolated. Yeah, so Jogo and
Here with me is Coach Tilbert Onyango, the brain behind the Sevens in Uganda, and he is taking the team to South Africa for the Olympics qualifiers. So, Coach, just to begin with, is what was your selection process like for this team?
Yeah, so basically we've been building up this team for the last 2 or 3 years, and just to give you a bit of background, last Olympic qualifiers, year 2015, around the same time, we put together a side and didn't perform so well, and we left Joburg as number 7 out of 14 teams that were there, which was it was probably an indication of where we were as a nation in terms of the Sevens code. So we came back and we made a plan, and that time I just left what we'd call gainful employment. Yeah, I'd retired early, so I decided to focus all my efforts on the game. Picked up a couple of young lads, and we started this process, basically learning the basics around the sport, talking to a couple of coaches here and there, asking them, how do they go about some stuff, how do they prepare. What do they do, during a 2-day tournaments, because you don't have them here. And as luck would be, the following year we became champions in Nairobi, and and that really opened up our eyes towards this Sevens thing.
I think that was the spark to everything.
Yeah, So first of all, there were the likes of Adrian Casito, who had just left school. We had Kevin, who had just left school at the time. We had Sebuliba as well, Casita, who had just left school. Pius, very young kids at that time, and we were like, okay, so if we build something around these guys, we should be able to be in a good place, 3 or 4 years time.
It was a learning experience, because honestly, these training sessions this year have been very different. The weather has been very bad, but it showed a lot of commitment, because there has not been a session where a player does not come because of the weather. Everyone has been coming in, so it has been motivating us a lot. Nambole, it has been hard, it has been tough, but we kept pushing ourselves. Everyone has been benefiting from it. Everyone has been showing passion. They want it. So I think the scrappy sessions are not really an inconvenience because of the weather, the pitch conditions, but our mentor is what has been building the most, and I think it's what we need right now the most.
Oh, good damage there coming in from Walker Raj. He's got space, he's got Akers, he backs himself, he's got the legs, and it's a brilliant try coming in from Philip Walker Raj. Uganda's golden rugby boy.
I have worked with the team. Before I went to France, we had several sessions, and me coming back is like an addition to me as well, personally, as a rugby player, and I also want to bring an addition to the team as well. But us working together will keep us going, and it has worked out during training, and I believe if we take it to the tournament, we shall get the results we want. It being a big tournament, we just want to take a game at a time. We don't want to over-expect, but we want to just give it our best, and once you give your best, you'll always get the results.
Well, there you have it, of course, reactions from Coach Tilbert Onyango and Philip Walker Raj, one of the most outstanding players with the Rugby Sevens for the last 3 seasons or so. Quickly, away from